What is going on with the RV industry?
We were just offered $2 million for a property we spent $750,000 on 3 months ago.
Should we sell?
We knew that 2021 was a crazy year in the RV industry, but once we started diving down into the numbers, we were absolutely blown away by the growth that has happened in the industry in such a short period of time. In today's video, we're going to go over those numbers with you guys. We're going to share what we found, what we think, and our predictions for 2022.
And our experience as members of the RV industry. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you have a positive outlook for 2022? Are you a little nervous about having a positive outlook for the next year?
Yeah, what do you guys think? Tell us in the comments below. What do you think 2022 is going to look like?
Let's start with a few statistics that are just going to set the stage for the perfect storm that we see brewing. Did you know that according to a survey by Cairn Consulting, 72 million RVers are planning to RV next year? Now, that same survey done the same time last year projected 62 million RVers. According to Woodall's Campground magazine, Jellystone Park revenues were up 58%
year over year.
Now, mind you, 2020 was their record-breaking year, and 2021 was 58% higher
than the record-breaking year, guys. It's insane.
Bloomberg is reporting that U.S. diesel stockpiles are sitting at a 20-year low.
Which means higher prices coming.
For the first time ever, Yellowstone had over 4 million visitors. Okay.
Which broke 2018's record of 2.7 million visitors. And guys, those numbers were reported 2 months ago in October. Okay, so that number is going to be blown away this year. If you are one of the unfortunate RVers who visited our national parks or Yellowstone, you know what the lines look like. You knew the nightmare that it was trying to get in there.
According to RV Travel, California legislators could ban the sale.
Hold on, we got two flies here now. What the hell? It's wintertime, for God's sakes.
Well, they're inside because it's cold.
Okay.
They're cold. They're smart. According to RV Travel, California legislator could ban the sale of portable generators in the state, having a crippling effect on RVers who rely on those generators to power their rigs when they cannot connect to shore power.
Think about the insanity of that, guys. They're trying to get rid of all small gas-powered machinery like lawnmowers, weed whackers, and even worse, what's that going to do to RVers, right? If you RV in a Class A or Class C, or you're in a fifth wheel, but you carry onboard power, you won't be able to use a gas-operated generator by 2024.
RV News just released an article reporting that U.S. consumer inflation is up 6.8%. That is the highest increase that it has had since 1982.
Guys, the United States of America has printed 40% of all the money of the history of our country, 240 years, in the past 10 months. Inflation is much higher than 6 or 7%.
Well, I'm just reading the stats.
Well, I know, it's just ridiculous.
Oh, okay. RV shipments are up 22.5%. Now, this is over last year's numbers, which was already 18% higher than the all-time high back in 2017, according to the RV Industry Association. And most importantly, we were literally offered $2 million for a property that we purchased for $750,000.
Yeah, things are absolutely insane, you guys. You know, these big companies, these big corporations, like big investment firms like BlackRock, they're buying residential homes now. You've got Zillow purchasing land.
Yeah, why is Zillow
buying real estate? It's because everybody is fleeing into assets, right? Hard assets, because we all know the dollar's getting destroyed right before our very eyes. So that's whole 6.8% inflation last year is a joke.
Okay.
It's a joke.
It's going to be okay. I promise, John. I love you. You're going to be fine. No, okay. But seriously, let's get back to this because I want to talk a little bit about the storm that brewed, what we expect to see and how it like literally impacts us. Like,
Yeah.
are we going to sell or not? Look, the bottom line is that 2021 had the continuation of the booming RV industry. A lot of it was, based on the pandemic because people want to travel. Statistics are showing that people want to travel, spend time in nature, be outdoors.
But they don't want to be on planes.
They don't want to be on airplanes. And the other nice thing about RVing is that there's so many different price points in RVing. It fits so many different budgets. You can do long trips, you can do short trips. So it's a really versatile type of travel.
Yeah, you guys all know the last couple of years have been absolutely insane, and families are looking for a safe way to enjoy beautiful places. We've been officially RVing for 3 years, and we've seen some of the most beautiful parts of this country.
Yes.
And we need another 5 years to see all the things we want to see. America is gorgeous, but boy, I'll tell you, things are absolutely upside down, and things are scary. I mean, people are scared.
Well, you're scared.
I'm scared.
You're scared.
I'm really scared, Mommy.
I'm not scared. Well, no, I am scared, but I'm reacting differently to my scaredness. Because it's almost like the roaring 20s again, but I would call it the elated 20s because it's different. And the other thing that I think is changing things a lot is with technology, we're able to do so much more digitally, remotely. So you have more people that are trying to work digitally and remotely. So here are our 7 predictions for 2022.
And these are our predictions, guys, from our own experience.
Well,
and
I'm pretty smart though.
Well, she's a lot smarter than I am.
No, we're not financial analysts, so this is our observation, our experience. I think we're in a unique position being in the RV industry, owning a campground. We talked to a lot of RV Odd Squad members that are out there in the field. This is what we're seeing, coming around the corner, and we want to warn you guys.
Yeah, so millions of new RVers are coming into the space, and the campground new sites can't keep up. They're not creating enough new campsites across the country to keep up with the demand of new RVers coming into the space. So a big tip here would be book next year now. Book your sites way out 6 months in advance if you possibly can. We really believe that 2022 is going to be worse than 2021 was, and the numbers say that.
Well, and to compound to the problem, you have mom and pops getting squeezed out of the industry. RV parks owned by small mom and pops are getting just bought up by these big corporations. And what do big corporations look at? They don't look at the site. They don't think about, hey, can I drive a 40-foot fifth wheel, 20 feet with the truck, 60 feet long? How comfortable is this going to be for our family vacation? They look at how much money
they can extract
out of every single square
foot.
inch.
Yeah.
Square inch, okay?
Which is why you're seeing more and more monetized parking lots.
Well, exactly. So they're continuing to squeeze out the mom and pops, and this is in different sectors of the RV niche. You got them squeezing out the mom and pop dealerships, the mom and pop service companies, the mom and pop RV parks. I mean, you name it, and they're squeezing out the mom and pops.
I think my biggest concern predicting what's going to happen in 22 is the hyperinflation that I really fear is coming this way. Gas prices are going to explode. Food prices are going to continue to go up. We're going to continue to see supply chain shortages across the country. And guys, I hate to say this, but my outlook on not just the RVing space, but America is not good for the next year. 2022 is going to be extremely painful.
Well, and I actually have a couple of positive insights in my predictions.
Good.
So I'm going to pepper them along with his, we're all doomed. If this was just pure John, it's all bad. One of the benefits that I see happening is a surge in alternative forms of solving problems. You see, the traditional means of solving problems aren't going to work anymore. You can't just take your RV into any service department. Warranty work pays horrible to RV dealerships, so they don't want to service you unless you actually purchase the RV from them. So you're going to have to get creative, and I see this is where the internet is going to be amazing. The Zoom calls that you're doing now for work, I see that happening
with mechanics.
With mechanics, I see digital appointments where they can tell you,
troubleshoot you, walk you through, tell you the parts you need.
Exactly.
And help you do the job. The days of dropping off your rig and having it done in 2 or 3 days is gonzo.
Yeah.
It's gonzo. You all know right now when you drop your rig off with a dealership, you're praying to God you're going to get it back in 2, 3, 4 weeks.
This is where I also think creative solutions to the supply chain chain woes are going to be a must-have. The reality is that a lot of manufacturing is done overseas, and while RVs may be manufactured in the States still, a lot of the components for said RVs are manufactured overseas.
I believe that Americans are going to have to get innovative and start new companies to produce their own products back in this country again and not rely on China to make absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think they're going to try to do this by choice. I think it's going to be
compulsory.
It's going to be compulsory.
I also see technology solving other problems as far as like the difficulty in finding sites. I also see technology really saving the day as far as finding alternative locations to RV. So a lot more of the mooch docking, boondocking situations. I think we're going to be able to solve those problems on more and more new websites.
I also see an explosion in people finding their own sources of power, right? I think you're going to see an explosion of solar. You think it's already exploded, it's really going to explode in 2022. RVers will be looking for alternative energy sources outside of engine and park power.
Well, yeah, especially for full-timers, you're going to have to be ready to boondock, mooch dock, RV park. You are going to have to be very flexible. And in the event that you can't stay at an RV park, you're going to have multiple alternatives and redundancy in your back pocket, be it solar, be it generator power, be it all the little plugs to hook up to all the different types of power, 15 amp, 20 amp. You're going to have all the tools in your tool belt so that no matter what happens, you're ready for it. What do you think?
I think we're doomed. I think that you better have 2 or 3 of everything. I think you better order it ahead of time. I think that you shouldn't rely on other people to fix your RV. If you want to fix your own RV, you better figure out how to do it yourself and order extra parts ahead of time.
I think the person or the RVer that wins in this situation is the one that can be the most creative. What do you think?
I'm going to agree with you 100% on this one because I think the game here is to be prepared for everything and everything. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. And it's been an insane 2 years, guys. I don't see it getting any better. I actually see it getting worse.
Here's another prediction I have. Well, I believe we're going to continue to see federal, state, and municipal funding being put towards RV-friendly endeavors, be it national parks, state parks, whatnot. I do think, and this is not a political opinion here, I think you're going to see a divide between 2 classes of states. I think you're going to see one class of state that is not going to be as friendly to RVers, and that's going to take the form of green policies that are going to limit the use of fossil fuels. I think vaccine mandates could have a play that you see certain states that require proof of vaccination in order to enter. Whereas I see other states, and I'm not opining, I don't want to hear those opinions here. This is neutral. Other states that are going to be like, yeah, whatever's fine. Do what you got to do. Freedom, freedom, freedom. What do you think?
I think government's the problem. I think a government's the threat to all of us. Well, no matter which side you're on, which state you live in, red or blue. I think government is our enemy now, and I think they're making things harder for everybody.
Okay, you can't say government is our enemy.
Why? It
because
is.
It makes you sound like a crazy person.
All right. Okay, well, I just said it.
Yeah.
So ask me again.
What do you think?
Tyranny.
Okay.
Tyranny.
Okay. I'm sorry I asked. I see a parallel here. On one end, we have inflation that's just skyrocketing. And on another end, we have the supply chain that's just broken. So it's harder and harder to come by things that at one point was really easy to access.
We need to make stuff here.
And I think that the 2 of those combined is going to create a scenario that looks positive on the numbers alone basis. I think it's going to create a numerical sense of elation. But I think when it comes down to the nitty gritty day to day, what that experience is like, I think it's going to be really frustrating because it's going to be hard to come by products. And when you do come by them, they're going to cost more tomorrow than they did the day before. What do you think?
I think the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
I actually agree with that. I also see an intensification of this battle between established institutions and new institutions. And I think this takes on the form of many different things. You have the established RV manufacturers competing with the new RV manufacturers that are both competing for the same components that are overseas. And who do you think is going to have more headway here? The company that purchases a boatload or the company that purchases less?
Of course, the bigger company. The bigger company is going to buy up the smaller companies. They're going to suck it up, guys.
Same with the RV dealerships. You know, you have some mega established, ginormous RV dealerships, and then you have mom and pops. When it comes to getting the new RVs, I believe that there's going to be a battle between the big guys and the new guys. I also think we're going to have a battle of established RV solutions, i.e. established RV websites or resources that people have been going to for a long time. But I think we're going to have a flood of new technologies,
innovative ideas
and apps and whatnot. We're going to get a flood of new apps. I think it's going to be similar to like the tech boom of the 90s. I think we're going to have an app boom of the 20s. What do you think?
I think we're doomed. So the best thing you can do as an RVer is prepare, do your homework, have a plan, store some food, have alternative means of getting fresh water, have a backup for everything. Bottom line here is, guys, you cannot rely on anybody else, especially government, to get you through what's coming. That's what I really think. You got to take care of yourself.
I also think that we're going to be experiencing some really awkward supply chain shortages. I mean, we got the low diesel reserves, but I literally just watched a YouTube video about how cream cheese was becoming hard to come by. Not because of the cheese itself. We have the cows. What we lack are the components.
The components.
No,
yeah.
to store it, you know? So maybe we'll start seeing cream cheese come in a different container. Because we're going to have to get really creative with our solutions. But we have the cows, people, so stock up on cream cheese and toilet paper. What do you think?
You can't say that. You can't say stock up on toilet paper. That's against the government.
Stocking up on toilet paper?
Yes, that's against the government.
Okay, now you're just being a poop. I do also think there's going to be some key differences between the roaring 1920s and the elated 2020s. I think the biggest thing that's going to be different is the lack of grit. People in the 1920s were just made differently.
They were tough.
They were really tough. And I don't think we have that grit.
Yep.
To be fair, though, I think we are more creative. And hopefully we can overcome our lack of grit with some creative solutions. What do you think?
I think it's going to be very hard for spoiled Americans to face the adversity that's coming our way. I think there's a lot of us that are spoiled rotten, and we don't know what it's like to really, truly struggle. They consider people poor nowadays, and they have a TV and a car.
And a cell phone.
That's ridiculous. The cell phone system ever goes down, I think 80% of our population will not know what to do. They won't know where they're going. They won't be able to order food. So the bottom line is that you got to learn how to take care of yourself. Maybe you have to grow your own food. Maybe you have to store your own food. But you have to take care of yourself because no one else is going to, and those are the types of times that are coming our way.
Another major difference between the roaring 20s and the elated 20s that I see is that back in the roaring 20s, manufacturing was still alive and well within our country's borders. And today, so much manufacturing is done outside of the U.S. I don't think all hope is lost, though, because I do think that the small companies that are able to fabricate a part are going to do really well. But I think that the key is going to be in being creative, adaptive, and also online. What do you think?
I think that we're going to have no choice but to start building things here again. I think that we've lost our way completely. I think we rely on too many other countries to supply everything. I don't think we're going to have a choice but to bring our manufacturing back to this country if it's not already too late. I think we've made some big mistakes in the past, and I think it's time to pay the piper. So make sure you're ready and able to take care of yourself and your family. I think it's on you and nobody but you.
Clearly things are really, really crazy,
Things
right?
are nuts.
And things are so crazy that we literally had somebody that just drove up to the property, chatted with John. I assumed it was an RV Odd Squad member because we still have people that just drive here and didn't get the memo about like, please let us finish remodeling the place. So I assumed it was just a squad member that just wanted a tour and whatnot.
Right. We've had 2 visitors. The first guy offered us $1.5 million to sell Thunder Canyon as is, and we've got an offer of $2 million for Thunder Canyon. This has never been about money. We believe that this place is a gift from God. Thunder Canyon is about family. It's about safety, security. It's about building a special community. And we're not going to sell this thing. I don't think there's any money that I would take on Thunder Canyon. It's bigger than that.
I'd consider it for, I would, no, I mean, what about like $1 billion?
Honest to God, you've been asking me this whole video, what do I think, what do I think, what do I think? You know what I think. I think we are in deep trouble. I think that we've gone too far. We've gotten too close to the cliff, and we're about to fall off the cliff. Thunder Canyon was a place of safety and security and community for us. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
This was never about money.
Yeah.
It's never about money. And quite frankly, there's no money that I would even consider right now. I want a place to bug out to when the wheels come off. And that's why we're here at Thunder Canyon. That's why we're inviting other members of the RV Odd Squad to join us in this thing. And this has never been about money. It's about family, it's about safety, security, and it's about community.
And it's about chickens. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. But
So-
the chickens are doing really good.
The bottom line here is, guys, is as you can see, Mercedes is always positive. I'm pretty much, for the most part, I'm a positive person. But I really believe that we're in deep, deep trouble. So take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Have a good plan. Make sure you have backup and redundancy in everything you do. You know, and take care of those you love.
So what do you think is going to happen? Do you have a positive outlook for 2022? Are you a little nervous about having a positive outlook for the next year?
Yeah, what do you guys think? Tell us in the comments below. What do you think 2022 is going to look like? Are you more on Mercedes' side or my side? Do you think we're going to be able to get through the challenge that face us all right now? Are we going to be able to get this? I'll tell you one thing. We're never going to be able to get through this unless we do it together. All sides, we got to come together, guys, because they're just killing us.
Yeah. So we'll see you in the next video.